what's up? I'm back with another episode of the Major Music Lounge podcast. It's your host, D Dot, and today we're actually going to interview PrinceMac, who is from Down by Law Records, DBL Records, and we actually had quite a few members of DBL Records on the podcast before. Shout out to them. They're out of Baltimore. And today we're actually going to talk about PrinceMac's latest project, Secular, The World as I See It. We're going to get into that. I got a chance to listen to it today. Really like what I heard. And just talk about his journey in music and more. If this is your first time tuning into the Major Music Lounge podcast, I do interviews like this with independent artists and independent producers, just talking about their journey creating music. Preferably, I like to speak to like other content creators, or also you may have publishing with in either the film or television industry. You may also come out with your own sample packs or do sound designing for one of these other companies. If so, I definitely want to hear from you, and you can follow me on Instagram at d._major music. Same thing on Threads and TikTok. Also, if you are on Twitter, it's a little bit different. It's d.mme. And if you like this interview, please go ahead, hit the subscribe button. Take a screenshot, whether you're listening on a platform or whether you're watching this on YouTube. Tag us both in it, and I'll give you a shout out. Now let's go ahead and get into the interview. I'd like to welcome y'all to another episode of the Major Music Lounge podcast, joined by Baltimore's own PrinceMac. What's good?
Uh, everything is everything. I'm just happy to be here.
Yeah. First and foremost, it's definitely a pleasure to have you on the show. I know we've kind of been going back and forth over the last week, but thank you for reaching out. And then I also want to shout out D Skills for, sending you in my direction as well. Uh man, I interviewed a couple of people out of DBL Down by Law Records, and I like what y'all doing collectively. And we're gonna talk about some of your projects as well, but tell us a little bit about how did you get started with creating music? Like when did you start creating, and how long has that been?
Okay, so I would say I started creating music in, I'm just gonna give it to 2018 because that's the summer I joined the Beats Not Bullets program. And it was a dark period in my life before that, and I didn't really want to talk or communicate much with people. But being at the Beats Not Bullets program showed me adults that were willing to not gatekeep, but teach the youth and give them a healthy alternative from what we were used to. And it also brought a bunch of youths with the same goals or similar goals and ideas into one under one roof. And I would say that's where the magic happened because that's when it was like, oh, I can do this. Like it is possible. It's not like this far out of this world thing. Like you can make far out of this world things and it's gonna be a beautiful thing, but it's something that you can do and it's not as like far out as you think it is.
Yeah. And 2018, that's kind of listening to your music. I would personally have thought that it's been a longer period of time. Like you're very seasoned in what you do. Very seasoned in what you do. And Beats, was it called Beats, Not Bullets?
Beats not bullets. Yes,
Beats
sir.
Not
Beats not
Bullets.
bullets.
Um, I would personally like that sounds like a pretty cool program. Like, is that like something that's just held in your city, or like who came together to, form that Beats Before Bullets group?
Okay, so Beats Not Bullets is the brainchild of Damon Blue, and Damon Blue shared it with my mentor Ogun, and Ogun like kind of just kept it pushing and kept it moving, and like just helped it progress more and more throughout different city accolades and South by Southwest
Yeah,
accolades, and bringing in MC Bravado and Brandon Lackey and just other people in the city that care about the youth and where it's going and care about the music and care about the content that both the youth that the youth puts out with their music. And it's not just like this is music camp. Like you're there, they conversate with you, they talk with you, you can vent, you can talk to them about anything you need. They're like extended family. Without Beats Not Bullets, I wouldn't be rapping. I would go as far as to say Beats Not Bullets gave me my voice back because of the aforementioned dark period that I faced before then, and how I didn't want to talk, and how they got that voice out of me.
Yeah, yeah. I wish, other cities had programs like that because a lot of the youth they just want to be heard, in a lot of cases, and they don't really have that support system in place for them to be able to succeed. So, I really admire what Beats Before Bullets, correct me if I'm wrong,
Beats Not
Beats
Bullets.
Not Bullets, sorry, is doing in Baltimore. Now, I would also kind of assume, with that being said, um, would they be some of your influences as far as an artist?
Um, nah.
Or
So
who
funny
were they?
enough, my influences, like, okay, so I believe the first MC I heard that I was just like, wow, was Nas. Like I felt like Nas could do no wrong in my eyes for a long period of time. It was just like people would talk about, oh, well, there's this person and that person from this era, and I would be like, but they're not Nas.
Yeah,
Or
yeah.
there's this person, they put out this, and they did this, that, and the third, and I was like, but it's not Nas. So yeah, for the longest period of time, it was probably Nas. Although I get comparisons, and I think it's just because of my voice, but I get Big L comparisons sometimes.
I could see that. Yeah. I could definitely see that listening to, in fact, listening to your music, like I was just trying to think all along, like I think this voice sounds like somebody. And now that you say that, yeah, I can totally see that. Um, Now you have the latest release, Secular, The World as I See It.
Yes, sir.
Um, that came out earlier this year, correct?
That came out March 18th.
March 18th. So tell our audience, what was your inspiration behind creating that album?
Okay. So with Secular, the World as I See It, you got to go back to the first album, which was Outspoken Words. And that was my first album. It was my first project. And I just wanted everybody to see what I could, like what I saw and how I viewed it. Whereas though this is more like how lyrically potent I can be, what I can do. And it's also, I want you to see the growth. Like, I want you to look at Outspoken Words and go, wow, that is a solid project. That is a really dope project. And I want you to listen to this one and go, I know the source ain't really a thing no more, and five mics ain't really a thing, but I want you to think, wow, if it was, this would be a five mic album. I want you to hear the growth both musically because I did most of the production on this, and I want you to hear the growth lyrically because I wrote it. So, yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna definitely have to go back and check out the first album, Outspoken, right?
Outspoken Words, yes, sir.
Outspoken Words. Yeah, I'm gonna definitely have to check that out. And you mentioned, you're doing production as well. Who are some of your influences as a producer?
As far as like
Like just
people that the
help
people
you
out there,
craft your sound.
let's say as far as the people out there may know, I'm a Q-Tip. I'm a Q-Tip DJ Premier
Okay.
fan. Now, as far as in the city, funny enough, my Mount Rushmore, like my favorite producers are all on this project. Like the joints that aren't produced by me, they're
Yeah,
produced by
yeah.
my favorites, like God Sense Beats, 7G Boomin, Tamika Thani. I'm sorry, Meek the Beat Freak. Let me not government. Let me not drop people's government. Like, but yeah, 7G Boomin, Meek the Beat Freak, God Sense Beats, D Skills Harris,
Oh
aka
yeah.
Skills Mega. Like, yeah, so all my favorite producers, and I didn't even realize it until wrapping it up because it was just this wonderful and organic thing. Like I didn't think to myself at the beginning of writing, I'm gonna get all of my favorite producers in the city
Just
on this
worked.
project. It just worked out that way. Like yeah.
What you use to do your production?
Oh, I bounce between DAWs. Also, I got this right here. I got this right here.
Okay,
And there's
MPK.
another one that I can't quite pick up, but
Oh yeah.
yeah. But I bounce between DAWs. Like I predominantly produced outspoken words on Soundtrap.
All right.
This project between GarageBand and BandLab, and I'll just like
Okay.
go between the three of them, and I'll just yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Like I think it was either the last interview I did, maybe even one before that, but I was telling that person that a lot of people sleep on GarageBand in terms of beat making. Like
Mhm.
it's free. You can use AUV, Audio Unit version 3 plugins in it, which means like synthesizers, samplers,
Yes,
you
Lord.
yeah, anything, any of the above, you can do a whole session inside of GarageBand. And I usually I like to explain GarageBand as kind of like a stepping stone to Logic.
Yeah.
Like, because I feel if you learn GarageBand, you could then move on to Logic. A lot of the same, um, it's the same interface really, and even the same sounds. And I think you can actually open up sessions inside of Logic. But you mainly produce. Do you use GarageBand like on the Mac or like iPad?
Mac.
Okay, okay, word, word. Yeah, yeah, man. And then you've been producing as long as you've been rapping, or just something you kind of learned along the way.
So with production, I had GarageBand on my phone in like middle school, and I would just thumb around, and I thought I was doing something, but I wasn't even changing the tempo or the key or nothing. I was just this loop, that loop, that loop, that loop. I made a thing. Like I wouldn't say I started taking production more seriously once I started taking music more seriously. And I would say once again 2018 or 2019 because I was a teenager and I had no money and I couldn't pay people and I
Yeah.
didn't want to pay people. So I'm like, I guess I'm gonna have to learn to do this myself. So yeah.
Yeah, like I wish when I started making beats, that was like way in '06, but it actually was out, but kind of like you were saying earlier, at that time I was the barely out of college student, didn't have a lot of money, so at that time I couldn't really afford a Mac. But I would have jumped on it then, and like now I'm not getting too much what I do for my day job, but that's part of my job is to teach people how to use GarageBand, and there's
Word.
been several like people that I've taught to use it, and they come back later and like, oh man, thank you for teaching me this. I just dropped my first album, and it's just kind of a rewarding feeling for me personally. So yeah, don't sleep on GarageBand. Um,
Please don't sleep on GarageBand.
one of the things, just everybody that come on the show, I usually not only check out their music, but I may go down their social media and just kind of get a feel for that person. And one of the things that I saw about you is you do a very good job of constantly posting your content, new music, um, new tracks, things like that. How has that helped you, whether it's pick up new fans or network with other like creatives? Explain, has that helped you at all?
I would say as far as networking, it definitely helps because that's when you'll get like the straight DM of, oh, word, I see that you do this, or like you're a really dope lyricist. Well, I got these beats, or I'm doing a show here, and I would love it if you would pop out, and things like that. Like even if it doesn't build your fan base, you build like connections, you build camaraderie, which is also invaluable in my opinion. So yeah, I would say that.
Yeah, same for me. I would say a very small percentage of like followers, I would say that I've from posting, I would say I picked up as fans, but it's helped me with a lot of other opportunities, kind of like you were mentioning in the city. Maybe it might be a performance, producer beat battle, um, collaboration, things like that. And I've met a lot of people not only like for music related purposes, but somebody may see a podcast post that I do and hit me up about being on a podcast. So, I always say that you definitely want to be active. I'm not saying you have to be a posting maniac 24/7, live on, posting your food, where you're going every day, things like that. But like
Yeah.
things that help benefit you as a creative, letting people know that you're working on something new, or you just released something new. So I think all of that is important. Now, one of the things I kind of wanted to ask you, and just looking and interviewing different people within DBL Records, shout out to Down by Law, but one of the things that I admire is you guys, you operate as a group. I like that. I like that. And everybody seems to support each other's movement. And everybody has their own sound as well. And, one of the things I want to ask, like, what does that mean to you, being a part of that, how everybody's there to support each other and just look like, again, y'all one big unit. And, I really like what y'all doing. So explain that to me, what it's like to be a part of that.
It's great, it's like having brothers and sisters in arms, or depending on the age difference, auntie and uncle in arms. Shouts out to Life the Oracle, that's my lyrical auntie. Um, it's crazy because like everybody wants to feel like friendship and camaraderie, even like the hermits. So even if you stay to yourself, it's nice to know that once you touch grass, when you got the sun on your face, when you go outside, you got people that got your back. And as far as everybody having a different style, that just leaves room for total domination. We leave no corner of the market unturned. Like we're just here to take over. It's just that
Yeah,
simple.
yeah. Yeah, a lot of people don't realize that. I mean, sometimes because I've been a part of groups before, some of it works out, some of it, didn't work out. And, some of the groups that I've been in, it's like, we worked together for so long, we all kind of at some point we go down our own path. We're still there for each other, but it's not, not to the degree that you guys are together. Because, I see photos and video clips from shows, and it's just like I just see so many people there, and I'm wondering like is all that people in a group, and it's a beautiful thing to see. I wish we saw a lot more of that here in the city. So kind of switching gears, do you have anything as far as like music videos coming or performances?
As far as performances, you can catch DBL One Night Stand May 4th at the Depot. And music videos, I can't say coming out per se just yet, but it's in the works and the wheels are turning in here. I just gotta flesh it out and put it on paper, get with the right people.
Okay, yeah. I'm definitely gonna be looking for that whenever you drop in some of y'all performances as well. And where can our listeners find, all your material at?
Y'all can find my material on all the DSPs, all the streaming platforms, be it Apple Music, Spotify, YouTube Music. I'm not bougie. Deezer, Napster. Remember Napster? Yeah,
Oh
it's on
yeah, yeah.
Napster.
That's still
Yeah,
around.
yes, sir.
Yeah,
You can
yeah.
listen to it on Napster.
I don't care where you listen to it, just bump it. Just bump it.
Exactly. Like, in my opinion, this is a five micer. All right.
Man, yeah, I definitely fuck with it, man. And side note from that, also, checking out some of your posts, man. I noticed that you're a big wrestling fan.
Yes.
Yeah, what you thought of WrestleMania, man? That was what, a week ago or 2 weeks ago. Did you
Oh
see it?
my goodness. All right. Yes, I saw it. Actually, so this is a part of that brotherhood that I was telling you about. We like WrestleMania weekend was one of the greatest experiences ever
You were there?
because no,
No.
but there was a studio. So night one, I watched night one by myself in my room. Night two, we actually had a session. So we had WrestleMania playing as we were recording our verses and getting tracks done for DBL on air coming soon. And it was awesome for me because like the two things I love most are wrestling and hip hop. So it's like I get the ladies verses with my brothers and sharpen the pen, get in there and do what needs to be done, leave out, and then go back to being a fan and watching wrestle. It was literally one of the best experiences of my entire life. Another down by law moment. Like it was crazy.
Man, man, yeah, I thought that was a great show. Um, and I'll be doing the same thing sometimes. Like I'll be here in the lab, I'll be recording, but I might have the iPad on the side or whatever it is that I'm watching. It could be wrestling, it could be basketball, baseball, football, whatever the case may be. But the work got to get done, but you still got to see the show at the same time. So,
Yes, sir.
you make it do what it do. Um, where can our viewers and listeners follow you at online?
Okay, so on Facebook, because I'm old, not really. On Facebook, because my family on there, and I consider y'all family. Catch me at Brendan Tillman, BrendenTillman. On TikTok, it's PrinceMac, all one word, 125. And on Instagram, you can catch me at Prince_Mac, MAC 125.
Yeah, yeah. Go ahead and give Prince Mac a follow and jam some of his music. Secular, The World as I See It, his latest release. Anything else on deck for the rest of 2024? I know we just in April, but it's still a lot more of the year left ahead of us than we've already passed. So, what's that looking like for the remainder of the year?
I'm gonna be rocking out with my brothers in DBL. You can catch us May 4th for Down by Law One Night Stand. And we're just gonna try to make the year a productive, beautiful year. And as you can see by the way we got started with the five micer, secular the world as I see it, I feel like we can do that. We gonna get it on and pop, and we're gonna rock it till the wheels fall off. All right.
Yeah, that one night stand graphic, that remind me, that's that old in your house type of look, I
The
think.
the DBL in your house,
Yeah, yeah.
from the old school like WWF joints.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
definitely.
Yeah, I could kind of tell from that, them niggas fuck with wrestling. I like that shit. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, man. Go ahead, give Prince Mac a follow. Check out his album, Secular the World as I See It. You can actually follow me on Instagram at d._major music. And then if
Do
you're
that.
on Twitter or X, it's d.mme. If you like this interview, please go ahead, subscribe, and hit the like button and screenshot it. Tag me and Prince Mag on Instagram. Let us know that you're listening, and I'm gonna repost it, give you a shout out as well. We appreciate you spending some time listening or watching this interview. If you're on YouTube, check out new episodes weekly here on this channel or all podcast platforms. This is another episode of the Major Music Lounge podcast. D. Dot and Prince Mac, and we are out.
Major Music.